more men here or wherever we're going to be to back up so they can tell their story. You know, because we don't want you as just a poster person,
Right.
you know,
Right.
of it. And then people start to make it personal.
Well, I wanna, me myself, I like to change some of the laws on domestic violence.
Okay.
And the only way you can do that is by legislation.
Sure.
You can't do it by, just talking about it.
Sure.
You have to
Like
go
a
to
Megan's Law or whatever the case may
right. You gotta go to the State Department, or I mean the State House, and say, Murphy, change some of these laws. You have over 15,000 members in MADV, and we're suffering because there's some things that when you go to court, they're not fair with us.
So the man is basically lonely. Well, okay, so have you been shopping this around? Have you visited churches and mosques and talked about this?
No.
Okay, so when
I mean, this is one of the spearhead of me starting to reach out to different organizations. Like for example, you have women who have children that can't get a place to live.
right,
So what we do is you go into the mosques and say, look, until we can find housing for these people, put them in the masjid, feed them. People who worship at that masjid, bring food, bring clothes, bring everything that they can to make sure that these people are all right. Now, what you do is you move them from that masjid, or you let them stay there 2 weeks, then move them to another masjid, or a church. It doesn't matter,
right.
because it's supposed to be giving. It's supposed to be benevolent.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been through this kind of situation before. When I was living in Florida and we came up here to Jersey, we had nowhere to go.
That's right.
So my mother told me, she said, take them to the precinct and tell them that they're homeless, and you come home with me. I said, no, how can I leave my family? I'm not gonna leave my family and go somewhere with you, and I'm gonna suffer with them just as long as they're suffering. And these kind of things use the clergy to help people, to help the kids. I don't hear them like that.
Sure.
I don't hear them. I hear them, come to my church on Sunday, but I don't hear them do no footwork.
Sure. Okay, I understand.
See, they got to come out, and I'm putting a blast on them because they don't do the benevolent things that they say they do. You can jump on me if you want, clergymen.
Okay, but again, we want to basically stick also with the fact that you mentioned and about men being domestically violated by their wives or their spouses, whether they're legally married or not. And how do we get, or how do you get more men to come and talk about that in a society that's male dominated? How do you get that? And I guess that's the point where what you're really making. How do you get more men, as you are able to sit here and tell your story? I've heard it a little bit on TV, but I must say that people really didn't pay much attention. When a man say the man been abused, it's almost like they just whitewash it right over.
That's only because, see, they don't report that they've been abused.
Okay.
But we can say it's almost equal to a certain
And you want
degree.
the law to be equal. If you hit her, right,
I'm
or if
going
she
to
hits
jail.
you want her to go to jail.
or be put in a program where, cause see me myself, I like to have my family back. I see with the intervention and the therapy. See, I don't want with the safe house is to give him the therapy,
Sure.
to give him medical help, anything that he needs, a job, looking for a job or whatever. I want him to be able to go back to that family where the woman is getting the same kind of treatment that the man is getting, therapy, so that then they bring them together and see if we can mend the disagreements.
The two together. But then, you know, in the African American community, I have to personalize this a little bit. You know, people would actually call that man soft. You know, it's soft such.
I'm soft.
Literally soft.
I'm
You
soft
know.
then, but I'm not soft.
Right. But you know
They
what
can
I'm
say
talking
whatever
about.
they want to say.
He's soft. You know what I
But
mean?
we trying to get it.
He's temperamental. You know what I mean and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, I don't pay that no mind. You know,
Really?
care what you say. I don't pay it no. You don't got. I don't pay it no mind.
Who are those people who say that?
A good constituent of people on the outside don't say
But
that.
they never experienced it. Then.
Because they say they ain't paying no mind. I don't care what she say. I ain't that deep with her. I ain't paying it all like that.
Yeah, you believe that.
understand me?
You
know.
believe that if you want to
Well,
believe
well-
it. You got a lot of men who say things like that,
Right.
but they shuffling their feet
Right.
when you ain't looking.
Right. I heard a book, Brothers Cry at Night. You know what I mean? So, you know, years ago.
I cried.
Right.
See, and I'm not afraid to say
To
it.
say it. Right.
See, I know.
Okay, well, you know, it's a message that need to be, well, if you believe it, it's a message that the world need to know.
Well,
Because I believe that if you're gonna, you know, it's difficult at this point in challenge. But if you believe what you say and you believe it to be true, then let's get the people together, and I guarantee you're probably gonna have people from all walks of life coming your way,
of course.
looking for that
Because
asylum.
domestic violence doesn't have a specific man or woman. It has no specific way of handling that kind of situation.
Sure.
It's that way.
Okay. Well, Wilbur, next week or week after next, we'll come back and
Have some more
if
people.
you have more people that's willing to sit down with us, you know what I mean? You know, sit down as
Even
we create.
argue about it.
Or if they want to argue about it, sit down at the round table and put a table together and actually talk. That is there domestic violence? Can she be violent? Have she been violent? You know, or could it be a case where the male that claimed that he's being violated had such a good mother that supported him so well that when he got out into society and he started dealing, he kind of thought that the woman would take that same and be as compassionate as his mother and be able to give him energy, you know. And could that be the case? You understand me? You know, sometimes that's the case. I mean, I'm very shocked at some of the behavior of women because I had a very good mother. I had, you know, very shocked at some of the things that
But I'm
could
gonna
come
tell you,
out of your
some
mouth.
of
And
the
I'm sure
things-
they probably say the same thing. They're very shocked at some of the things that come out of my mouth. But you
look
know,
at what's his name? Peterson. What's his name? Peterson, the football player that played for the Vikings, and he beat his son with a switch, right?
I heard about that. Yeah,
Right now, back in the day,
that's how they beat him.
man, my mother would say, "Go get that ironing cord,"
Right.
and
Yes, that's a hard
get that ironing cord, and I go hide the ironing cord,
Yeah.
and she said, "That's all right, I got another one."
Yeah.
Then she would use
Hardcore.
she would use the barbershop strap.
Oh man.
Oh my God,
That was bad.
that was just like being a slave,
Yeah.
huh? You get that,
That
you
kept
get
you
that
from
leather.
being. That kept you from being a slave.
Oh man,
You wasn't a
see,
slave to
see,
to
I'm
jail.
glad. I'm
Right.
glad they did
Right.
what they did.
You
back
weren't a slave
then.
to jail because of that. Right? That's
Some
just the thing.
things has to be instituted.
Right.
Because these our children today are terrible. They're disrespectful. They'll curse you out. They'll do anything. They even kill you. See, so we dropped the ball with them a little bit. But the domestic violence situation is still prevalent in our community.
Sure.
Very much so. There's a girl that was in my office. I had an office down the street.
Mhm.
It didn't pan out. So was I supposed to quit?
No.
No. See,
Not-
that's
not-
why
not-
that's
not
why
if
I
that's
got
your
this
goal.
right now.
Okay.
See, this is my passion.
Sure.
Okay. So the girl comes into the office and she says he's gonna kill me. So I say take her to the back and talk to her in the back, right? 'Cause we got to get her some help. Even though it's about men, when a woman comes in, we still supposed to helper. So now some things happen where the office closes down because we don't have no funds. Okay, so now the boyfriend, who she said was gonna kill him, goes down on Stratford Place, kills a girl down there, throws her in the bathtub, comes up on Clinton Place, kicks the door in, kills the boyfriend, and kills her in front of them kids. Are them kids traumatized?
Yes, they are.
Huh? See, my thing right now is I like to do something to a fundraiser for them so that they can get the help that they need.
Okay. All right. Well, Wilbur, nice talking with you. And,
well, I think we have a pretty good relationship.
yeah, we
I like your persona.
And we will continue to talk and continue to do what you do. And you believe in this passionately, and perhaps you'll get the people behind you.
Well, I hope so.
If it exists, if this thing really exists, and if men willing to fess up, I think that in a few weeks we can do another show and talking about this, and and shed some light on it.
Can I say a couple of things?
Go ahead.
I say I have a basketball tournament in the summertime, and I need the help from as many people as they possibly can, $1, whatever. We started this 4 years ago, and we don't give trophies, we give rings. Okay, because rings, kids, they say, I'm a champion.
Sure.
Now, Charles, could you get that thing right there? See, this is one of my sayings that a man named Bo Porter, who went to my high school, he wrote this.
The level of resolve can move mountains, but it must be constant and consistent. As simplistic as this may sound,
it is still the common goal, separating those who become champs and those who only dream of being a champ. See, I told to a guy today, the gentleman, he's a
common
teacher.
denominator.
It's the common denominator.
Separate those who become champs and those who only dream
of being a champ.
Wow.
See, I'm
Bob
a champ.
Porter.
See, I'm a champ.
Okay.
See, I don't just talk, I do. And I've been doing my tournament for the last, this will be the 4th year, and I want it to be even better than it was when we first started. It was so funny that Larry Holmes came last year.
Oh, wow.
See, now check how what I think. We were sitting in a restaurant. So I said, because I'm a Hall of Famer in the city of Newark. So I said, I know Larry Hassett. He said, you know Larry Hassett? He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I know Larry Hassett. Now, a lot of people say this, but they really don't mean it because they just talking. So he said, I'm going to call him. So he put me on the spot. So when he calls him, Larry answers the phone. So Larry Holmes says, Larry, I got somebody who want to speak to you. So he hands me the phone. I said, hey Larry, how you doing? He says, who's this? I said, this is Wilbur Ross. He said, hey Will, what's up?
Wow.
Right? So now it shows him that I'm legitimate.
Right.
So when I asked him to come to my tournament, he accepts. Because he asked me to come to his functions. Because now I'm going to his golf tournament in July.
It was up
in Eastern.
Eastern Pennsylvania.
Because I went last year. And I invited my teammate, one of my teammates. He won the whole thing, though, my teammate, because he played golf all the time. But it confirmed that I'm a legitimate person, right? So now, the day he was supposed to come, he gets into a car accident. So I call him, I say, Larry, you all right? He said, yeah. I said, I heard you were in a car accident. And then I said, are you going to come? He said, I'll call you back. The next thing I see him walking down the hill in the park.
And we're parking.
Weequahic Park.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're waiting to find out if they're gonna redo the park. Cause see, what I wanted to do, I made them give me more bleachers. I like to have it where it's like a stadium. And what happens is now you have crowd control now.
Okay.
because
That's a county park.
it's a county park. You know, Joe D. And then one day I was sitting